Now, one of the most incredible science fiction franchises ever is about to get its own TV series. This is exciting. Whole Aliens franchise is really started from Ridley Scott's little noggin. It was like a survival horror against one alien. Then James Cameron got involved for the sequel and made it bigger, a big blockbuster with lots and tons of action as Marines are firing and killing aliens left and right. Then it went down small again. David Fincher made Aliens 3 and focused on one alien again. And then, of course, they had to go more action the next time around, so Alien Resurrection got more aliens in it and more action. Then most recently in 2012, Prometheus came out. Ridley Scott is back to tackle the Alien franchise, except without aliens. It's like the prequel. Before that, in fact, he wanted to go into a different direction, but decided that I think we need to get back to aliens. And so there's another action-oriented Aliens with multiple aliens. Aliens Covenant. But now it looks like there's going to be a new FX TV series involving the Alien franchise. This time it's being created by Noah Hawley, who is actually the showrunner for the incredible Fargo TV series. But there's a different take to this Alien TV series. It's now going to be set on Earth. I know, Aliens vs. Predator didn't do very well. And so a lot of us are like, well, we don't like Earth at all. Let's go back to space, to another ship, whatever. Not on Earth. But he thinks he's got something incredibly cool here that he could definitely play with. And it's all about maybe the aliens can actually sink their claws and teeth into some white class executives this time around. Noah Hawley says this: "What's next for me, it looks like, is an Alien series for FX, taking on that franchise in those amazing films by Ridley Scott and James Cameron and David Fincher. Those are great monster movies, but they're not just monster movies. They're about humanity trapped between our primordial parasitic past and our artificial intelligence future, and they're both trying to kill us. Here you have human beings that they can't go forward and they can't go back. So I find that really interesting." When asked where he is in that process, he said this: "I've written a couple of scripts, the first 2 scripts, and we're looking to make them next spring." When you get to something with this level of visual effects, there's a lot of preparation that has got to go into it. What's been really illuminating is to see that the entire film industry had to take a year off, and they are now trying to jam 2 years of production into 1 year. So it's very hard to look on the planet Earth and see where you might make something in the next 6 months. Everyone is racing to make up for lost time. So I figure, let that bubble burst a little bit and we'll do it right. So folks wondering, is this going to be like connected to Ellen Ripley at all? It's not a Ripley story, he said. She's one of the great characters of all time, and I think the story has been told pretty perfectly. I don't want to mess with it. It's a story that's set on Earth also. The alien stories are always trapped in a prison, trapped in a spaceship. I thought it would be interesting to open it up a little bit so that the stakes of what happens if you can't contain it are more immediate. So that's interesting. It almost feels like maybe the aliens become a virus, right? And it's kind of like the James Cameron Aliens movie. It gets out of control. There's multiple of them and they can't contain it. Kind of like zombies. On some level, it's also a story about inequality. You know, one of the things that I love about the first movie is how 70s a movie it is, and how it's this really blue-collar space trucker world. They're like Samuel Beckett characters ordered to go to a place by a faceless, nameless corporation. The second movie is such an 80s movie, but it's still about grunts. Paul Reiser is middle management at best, so it is the story of the people you send to do the dirty work. In mine, you're also going to see the people who are sending them, so you'll see what happens when the inequality we're struggling with now isn't resolved. If we as a society can't figure out how to prop each other up and spread the wealth, then what's going to happen to us? There's the great Sigourney Weaver line to Paul Reiser where she says, "I don't know which species is worse. At least they don't F each other over for a percentage." We barely see these executives and high-class citizens. It's always the grunts that get attacked and sent out to take on the aliens. So this time I think he has a message for those white-class executives. He's going to get the aliens to come attack them. Wow, that would be insane.
Big things have small beginnings.